The riders head out onto the track then for qualifying for the first ever Indian Grand Prix. Hello everybody, welcome up to the watch along commentary. We're all set for what's going to be a very entertaining session here. No idea what we are going to see next as our TV pictures predictably go for a freeze, but this is going to be something like we've never seen before. So stand by for all of the action. First of all, hello, well done for getting up or staying up wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for joining us. Our pictures come back now as well. All set then for this one. Fabio Di Giannantonio, Brad Binder, Alex Marquez, along with Franco Morbidelli, Augusto Fernandez, Ralph Fernandez, Miguel Oliveira, Jack Miller, Pol Espargaro, Stefan Bradl, Takiki Nakagami and Michele Pirro all heading out in this session, which means it's going to be a very crucial qualifying session because nobody actually knows what we're going to see. Nobody knows what type of situation they're all going to play, what games they're all going to play in order, because we've never done a qualifying at this circuit. So this is going to be a lot of interesting fun. And hopefully as well, a lot more dramatic. In terms of pole sitters, Q2, by the way, we've had a slight delay. Now, I know we're doing this delayed, but I don't know what's happened. I presume you don't know what happened either. We're delayed on Twitch, and then it's premiering as well. But Q2 will start at 11:48, so that's all we've got the news for at the moment as well. But that doesn't apply to us because we're on a delayed format anyway. But this is qualifying. This is the commentary. And let's check in with our commentators at TNT. Gavin Emmett, Neil Hodden as well. A lot of traffic in the last corner getting together.
Sat up waiting. There is Mark's brother Alex out in this session.
It's a really hard one to call this session because even someone like Fabio Di Giannantonio it's got pace. I could almost plead a case for everyone out there, probably except Pirro and Bradl and Miller at the moment, who doesn't seem like he's on form. But the
Miller
rest
just got in the top 10 though in that last session. He found a lot of time.
So Jack now will prove me wrong by Can Jack Miller bite the screen? Absolutely he can.
The one thing I heard Sylvain say was overriding, and this is a track you really cannot override, can you? Because it will ruin your whole lap.
Yeah, it's really easy to blow the corners, just to rush them ever so slightly, and it can really affect your exit if you do that.
On board with Brad Binder, who also improved his pace in that FP2 session. Okay, a little bit slower than he went on the soft tyre at the end yesterday, but definitely improvements overnight. And let's not forget, right, data-wise, Ducati have more than anyone, and then KTM have their 4 bikes, they probably have their 4 bikes, but you still feel like KTM are behind from just not having the history that Ducati have had in the championship. You feel like always it's just going to be that little bit behind. They talk about, the amount of engineers they've got, and that KTM project. When you go to that factory, well over 100 people working on it. So overnight they'll have been crunching the numbers.
They were crunching the numbers, and that's true. They were crunching the data. They were finding the times. They were doing everything possible in order to get it working, and it just wasn't enough. There's 2 differences that they were seeing and talking about in qualifying, 2 major issues that they thought about as well. So there's definitely some, I don't want to say it, but there's some interest around what we are seeing right now as they come to play. First lap times on the board then. Di Giannantonio 1:45.494. Alex Marquez in towards turn 1, just gets it down to 5th position. Miguel Oliveira 3/10 down at the moment as they take it. So Di Giannantonio from Binder, Augusto Fernandez, Ralph Fernandez, Alex Marquez, Stefan Bradl, Takiki Nakagami, Michele Pirro, Pol Espargaro, Franco Morbidelli, Johan Mir. That's the 11. Oliveira, we're watching now coming out of the last corner. He'll boot it hard. And Oliveira goes 5th fastest with a 1:46.135 for Miguel. Di Giannantonio's 2/10 up at the moment. Binder also 2/10 up. So finding more pace. There's Razlan Razali down there in the Aprilia, the team principal. He's keeping his eyes out. Di Giannantonio 2.5 up there. So this is a crucial Q1, is to see who's going to get through. Who's going to be the unusual rider that progresses through. And, well, who's going to be the normal, who's going to be the shocker, basically. That's how we're looking at it and how it's all being sort of treated, even though you're not saying it. It's a similar situation. D'Antonio on a turn 14 and goes a 1:45.246. That's 3/10 quicker than Binder. Lap time cancelled for the 88 of Miguel Oliveira due to exceeding track limits. So more lap times getting the cull. Here's Brad Binder. He's second fastest at the moment and goes a 1:44.761. Morbidelli P2. Miller fifth. Polispargro sixth. Raul Fernandez goes second. 1:44.999. Great time there. Franco Morbidelli third fastest. So they're still finding the deltas to improve upon. Really good stuff, this. Really strong cases going around for what they need to see. As they attack in. And looking fast. Hopefully will stay fast as well. Fernandez closing. So first Oliveira will do another lap time after doing his first. 1:45.375. Goes seventh fastest on the first run.
Picks there. Fair play to him.
Again, pushing hard down there. Aleix Espargaro said about the Aprilia that another thing, not only is the hard braking areas we know, but the heat. So that's a place their bike suffers a little bit more in hotter conditions. You wonder with all the wings and everything, the way it's packaged as well.
It's so compact, isn't it? You can imagine it struggling a little bit with the heat. Imagine you design a motorcycle to be efficient around a racetrack with all the aero, and actually you don't really put heat as the top priority, but then you come to a track like this and it can cause the rider some issues. Ducatis normally in the past were the bike that was difficult to ride. A lot of the riders complained about them, the heat off them.
Alex Marquez checking behind his estimated P4 at the moment.
You know only too well what the bike used to be like back in the original days of the Ducati and MotoGP.
I remember Caparossi showed me a burn on his forearm from the 2003 season in its first season.
Didn't you have one burn after Qatar?
Yeah, when the bike set on fire on the grid. Yeah, that was far from ideal. At least I put it out with my water bottle and then did the race. Yeah, weirdly, right. I only lasted 2 or 3 laps before we had an issue.
We've already seen a fire this morning from Ayumu Sasaki in Moto3. Had a spill at turn 3, bike on fire. They put it out quickly and he was back on it and actually got himself through into Q2. So, first pause in this 15-minute Q1 session, and it's Binder and Raul Fernandez. Who saw that coming?
Nobody.
Going through.
Well, also, if you look at the times, Binder's, that's fastest lap of the weekend. He's 1/4 of a second faster than everybody, but still, he will have to go out and try and beat that time because he will not be comfortable with that. And that's what happens when you come to a new track. It's evolving. The setup for the riders is evolving. The way to extract the perfect lap time is evolving.
And so through this corner, you're probably finding a 10th.
Yeah, look at it. That's the corner. That's turn 8 and 9. It's really banked. It's banked like a... If you've been to Alton Park, it's that banked like the Shell Oils corner. It's a superb corner.
Is that all paint that's running down it, do you think?
Yeah, it looks a bit like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, heat melting.
Because we have seen the paint cause a couple of issues. Dennis Honshu had a crash this morning. High side. Coming into pit lane, riding on the paint on the inside coming into pit lane. Celestino Vietti had a huge high side at turn 1. Luca Marini lost the front after setting his fast lap yesterday, trying to brake hard on the paint. It's a beautiful corner. Turn 8. But I just wonder if... a few bits like that, a few teething issues. But you know what, all in all, it's been a fabulous venue to come to. And I reckon we are set for a real treat later on, and probably get one now here in Q1.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. If you're Binder now, the last thing you want is 3 or 4 riders hanging out behind you. If ever you're going to really take your time on your outlap, this is one of them because the times are so close. Yeah. If someone does get a wheel, a target, someone to follow, and a slipstream down this long straight, even on a MotoGP bike, it could make the difference by a couple of tenths. And that is what's going to decide who goes through to qualifying 2. It's so important. Qualifying's so important at this track. Because turn 1 is going to cause some issues, we think, don't we, later on today, Gav?
You feel like it's a pinch point waiting to happen. The way the corner, as you've talked about it, is open and close itself back up, and you have to come right back round on yourself to attack through the dip of turn 2.
Also, the problem is the paint on the outsides, we're just talking about it. It is one of the only negative points of this circuit. The paint just, I don't know if it's flaking or I don't know what's happening.
The heat, probably.
Yeah, it could be the heat, but it's slippy, slippier than normal. You know, we'll sometimes look at curbs and say they can be a little bit slippy, especially in the wet, but there's been issues in the dry, and like you just mentioned, we've seen a few strange crashes so far this weekend, so you don't want to run onto the paint in turn 1 on the first lap. It's a risky strategy.
Oh,
you
here.
can see the run down through 9 towards turn 10. That's the barrier they're saying. I just need to have a look at that one. I think there's something they would be able to do there.
Yeah, you know what? The riders at most tracks they go to have one or two safety concerns that they'll say in the safety commission. Look, next year if we come back to Jerez, can we move, let's say, turn 3 back a little bit? And it's sort of what happens. The fact that there's only one real safety issue, and that's like I say, the barrier at turn 10. I'm sure it'll be addressed when we come here next year.
There has been a provisional calendar not announced. We haven't had anything officially come through to us in terms of calendar setup. German's website Speed Week reporting Good to Racing is usually not too far away. A 22 race calendar with the return of Kazakhstan and Aragon for next year. And
Alex Marquez then, beautiful example of how to get through the, let's call it the carousel. It was gorgeous. He's 0.2 of a second up halfway around.
Wow.
And, I mean, Brad Binder's just set the fastest lap ever, so...
Yeah, the track's improving massively. It's getting to where it needs to be in this qualifying session. D'Antonio out of the last corner then. Oh, bucking Buckaroo at that back of the track, isn't he, on that Grenesci? Goes across the line, goes fastest, 1:44.719. His teammate right behind him goes even faster, 1:44.519. So exactly 0.2 of a second faster. Raul Fernandez goes a tenth faster. Raul Fernandez tops a session at 1:44.410. He's mega happy with that one. And so are the Crypto Data LF team. So Raul Fernandez with 2 minutes to go, looking like that's it. And he won't get another run in unless it's a very cool lap. We could be in for an extended run into the next session. So keep an eye on that. Binder 5th at the moment, 1:26.605. He's 0.2 down as they exit the last corners. Alex Marquez up by 88,000. So not much in that first sector. Binder's crossed the line. He goes third, 1:44.651. So, yeah, Binder's got one more fly. Oh, Alex Marquez has gone down. Alex Marquez has crashed down in sector 2, and he was down. And, actually, the bike's come up, and he looks a bit winded there. As he's got his knee down. Oh, hello. What's happened here? Alex Marquez is winded a little bit. He's having to undo his leathers. He's up on what he was walking around, but has it high-sided him? What happened? So he turns in into turn 5. Front dips away from him. Oh, it's a high side. Oh, and he's been run over by the bike slightly. Oh. Yeah, that's a big old punch to the back, unfortunately, for Alex Marquez. No sign of no red flag, so we'll stay green for now. Yellow flags are out in that section. No one else is going to improve on those lap times now anyway.
They like going, and that's them consigned to 14th at best on the grid.
That's Binder. Wow, you're right. Lap time cancelled.
Back ahead of him.
Binder's had his lap time cancelled due to the yellow flag. So Binder's not going to improve. Jack Miller's not going to improve. So KTM have come to India and they've failed to get through to qualifying. Morbidelli, Nakagami. Yeah, look at that. Lap time cancelled for the 6 as well. And Alex Marquez is still at the side of the track. Now he's on the old layout, so it should be okay. But that's it. Why is there no red flag? Yellow flags are out, so no one else can improve. So Stefan Bradl's had his lap time cancelled for the yellow flags. Augusto Fernandez will do the same. Checker flag's out though. So nobody else, that's it. Everyone's gone through the yellow flag zone. So it's Raul Fernandez who will go through along with Alex Marquez. But Alex Marquez might not be running in Q2 if he's winded. He's got a second bike, but yeah, he looks a bit winded. Oliveira, lap time deleted. So Raul Fernandez and Alex Marquez go through. D'Antonio's out, so is Brad Binder, the bigger surprise. Nakagami, Miller out again, second week running. Morbidelli, Augusto Fernandez, Miguel Oliveira out. Paulo Spargro, Stefan Bradl, and Michele Pirro. Alex Marquez having to be helped off the circuit there. So the front will dip, the rear steps away from him, it chucks him over the top, he lands on the back, rolls over, gets 3 separate hits. Yeah, that's not nice at all for Alex there. I'm not surprised he's a little bit winded. But he will be taken to the medical centre and hopefully okay. I think he's hurt his hand as well, actually. That's not good to see. He's being helped away by the Indian Marshals as well. So he'll be taken to the medical centre, I'm being told in my ear, but he has a second bike, but I don't think we'll see Alex Marquez out in the second session. So bit of an interesting situation there. Yeah, lap time cancel for the 49 as well. That's Fabio Di Giannantonio with the yellow flag coming through. So everybody changing the yellows and changing the systems. That needs to be. As everybody now walks on as well. Well, Rachel Stringer is our presenter this weekend at TNT. And she's down in the paddock as well with Sylvain Gintoli and Michael Laverty to hear all the latest information with Nat Quirk not here this weekend, I don't think. But an interesting session. Q2 coming up shortly. In around about 8 minutes' time, we'll have the second session. Raul Fernandez, Alex Marquez, the two going through. D'Antonio, Binder, Nakagami, Miller, Morbidelli, Fernandez, Oliveira, Espargaro, Bradl, Pirro out of it. Rachel.
Exactly, we saw that, didn't we, yesterday at the end of the session, and then again today. Alex Marquez, obviously the victim there, but I think we have to talk about Raul Fernandez first, don't we? What an excellent session that he just had on the Aprilia there, and actually faster than Luca Marini in practice yesterday, 1:44.4 compared to Marini's 1:44.7, so really finding something this morning here in India.
Yeah, that was a great lap. Started the weekend really in a good way, Fernandez. And putting that lap in, I mean, that's a really quick lap. We're expecting 45s around here. We're now getting into the low 44s. Might see a 43 very soon. So, yeah, great lap by him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was Mark, wasn't it? He said he was thinking of 1:45s it was going to get. But your thoughts on Raul Fernandez and how he handled this new circuit and that session out there, Michael?
Impressive. I think as a rookie, he's rookie to Aprilia, should I say, rode KTM last year, but it's been such a tough time for him. It's nice to see a little bit of progress this weekend. He's figuring things out. It's first time for him coming through a Q1 session and topping it. So he's taking the confidence from it, figuring I think a new track, it's a bit more of a level playing field for him, all these experienced MotoGP riders. So, yeah, I'm really happy for Raul because it's been a tough period.
Yeah, well, both Fernandez, then we can kind of say they're both rookies, can't we? Trying to make this a leveler for them this weekend. Well, I just mentioned it, and you just saw it. Alex Marquez then just having a crash. He did manage to go through to Q2, which we'll see in a couple of moments' time. Just at the end of that session, turn 5 it was. It looked pretty nasty.
Yeah, and you can see there the rear is stepping out. He's a bit out of line. He's just away from the racing line, and the track is still a bit dirty there. So the rear locking up, he got really chucked out the bike, got winded there. So you can see he's really winded there, really in pain there. And that really hurts when you land like this so hard. It just takes the wind out of you, and you just can't move anymore. So yeah, unfortunately for Alex, a nasty crash, a lot of pain, but a great lap.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of nasty crashes, haven't we? And Alex has been taken to the medical centre, so hopefully we'll see him a bit later. Doesn't probably look like we're going to see him in Q2, which does mean, obviously, he's 12th, then probably that he starts the next
I actually
sprint.
wouldn't be surprised because
would he get back out?
Sometimes those initial moments, it's whenever you're winded, it's so hard you're not getting your breath, but he'll get a little bit of downtime into the air conditioning. If they deem him fit, he'll be straight back to the garage and try and get a fast lap in. So yeah, I wouldn't rule him out of this Q2 session just yet.
Okay, well, hopefully he is fine, and Michael predicts he will be. But let's have a pause then on the action here, and let's go back to Mazzano last time out, because as the curtain closed on that race, the riders were back out again the next morning for an official test. And it was very much all eyes on Yamaha and Honda, who were looking for something for this run into the season and for next year as well.
For the first time we tried the new engine, I expect better. But we have to analyze a little bit more to know about it. I think we have to analyze well. We will have the meeting with the engineers and see where we can improve the performance. We were going much slower and the feeling on my bike was not good. So we decided to go back again with the standard aero. But yeah, we have to figure out what is better and what is worse. I expect much better. So yeah, let's see on the next one in Valencia.
We tried the new proto bike, first time on track. Not first time on track because brother was riding with this one during the weekend, but first time for me, very different riding position and the feeling. But in the end, the main problems are more or less the same ones. The performance is more or less the same, so we need to keep working and try to understand the way to improve for the future. At the moment, it's not we cannot say improvement because the lap times are similar, and in the end, what I evaluate is the performance on the racetrack. But yeah, at least I see new faces, new people, new project, new engineers, and yeah, let's see. We need some time.
We already get some input from the riders, not as exactly as we expected, but at least we get the information. No? We are trying to concentrate and bring him a bike that can make him happy, not only him but also Joan. And this is all what I can tell you about this issue and this matter for this moment.
I cannot make any decision today. I need time, relax, and yeah, understand everything. We cannot wait until Valencia. I need to be much earlier.
Well, there was no decision at the test, and there will be no decision we hear this weekend either for Marc Marquez. But at the test, he was trying a couple of new things. A chassis, tail unit, exhaust, the new engine. He didn't get to test for 2024, which he probably would have wanted to.
Yeah, the engine's the thing that changes the character of the bike. Obviously, they couldn't run that. If it was better, they couldn't run it the rest of this season. So perhaps he's got a bit of an indicator on what they need from the chassis. We always think the new generation bike, they tilted a lot of the weight backwards. It's not been good. It's took away a lot of Honda's strengths. But this weekend, we're seeing some of Honda's strengths back. So we heard there was a bit of a pull from a couple of the Honda riders to switch right now straight to the 2024 chassis. Maybe they have done that. It would be interesting to see because the engine was tilted quite far back, so it'd be good to get a look at it in Japan and see if they actually already have made a switch. So good to see some positive signs this weekend, but it didn't sound that positive from Mark, from Alberto. They were playing it down quite a lot.
In terms of Fabio as well, he had two technical problems only yesterday, didn't he? I think it was in FP1 actually. Had a few problems with the bikes. Gavin's already spoken about that a lot, and obviously he went testing as well, but they said they're not going to have different specs till later in the year, possibly Malaysia and Valencia again. So he's found something here, it looks like, but we'll get to see exactly what next year may bring a little bit later in the season.
Yeah, it looks like just with Honda, the Yamaha situation, that the riders were a little bit disappointed. They were expecting a bit of a revolution, and they didn't get that at all. They got a few updates, but nothing magic, nothing miracle. The new aero, Fabio didn't really like, and then there was that new engine. And Misano is actually not a great track to test for the engine. It's actually not the best track to test, just short, because after the Grand Prix, you get a lot of rubber on the track, and all the riders were saying there is so much grip. It's really hard to assess what is really going on. So yeah, on the Japanese manufacturer side, including Yamaha, a little bit of disappointment maybe for Fabio. He's expecting more, and the top speed didn't look any better with the newer engine. So a lot more coming from them.
Yeah, a lot to build on, I'm sure, from that test, as with 8 rounds left. Well, the next session, Q2, has been delayed, but nobody told this man, Aleix Espargaro. He went out, and I think he's going to have to get his bike back himself, or is somebody going to help him? Yes, we do have a team that helps him, but it's not exactly a best start, is it, for Q2 here when you're trying to get the best position on the grid for the races a bit later? Does it just mess with your mind a little bit, guys? I mean, what do you do in that situation?
No, it'd be a good warm-up, doing a little run in that hit. Yeah, he's not happy.
It's frustrating.
So fiery. Unreal. Yeah, no, you wouldn't be happy. Maybe that's taking it a bit too far. But
that's slightly childish there. I don't like that.
Yeah, obviously the team, if they'd seen that he was going to be delayed, they would have told him. They just didn't. They just didn't see it at all. So yeah, a small delay there. The riders will just keep waiting patiently. In that time, you just need to keep concentrating. You don't want to lose your temper like that. You just want to keep focus and wait for that green flag to go. And that's it. They're going out now, actually.
You have to be calm here. We are at a new circuit for the first time on this circuit for international racing for 10 years, so we're all kind of just finding our feet a little bit. But, right, it is now time. We have the correct timing for Q2. Gav, Neil, are you ready for this one?
Yeah. Here we go then. Q2 is underway, and this is going to be a very, very entertaining session because nobody knows exactly what we're going to see. Nobody knows what type of quali session we're going to get. Hello to SHG is watching in the chat room as well on Twitch. So, Marini, Martin, Aleix Espargaro, Marc Marquez, Bezzecchi, Viñales, Bagnaia, Quartararo, Zarco, Mia, Fernandez, that's Raul, and Alex Marquez. We're going to see Alex Marquez. He's gone to the medical centre for a few more checks, so I don't think we're going to see him straight away in this session. Crowd starting to come in as well. It's going to be a very entertaining run around what we could see here for the championship positions. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good day here in New Delhi, the Bod International Circuit. I have no idea who's going to take pole position before anybody asks me. I don't know. I was too busy doing the I was too busy doing the Formula 1 Japanese Grand Prix. I don't know a single thing that happens in this session. So I'm not going to make any predictions because people will call me a liar. So I'm just going to wait and talk about what we see on the screen. But let's have a look at Aleix Espargaro. Finally leaving pit lane, as you heard from Rachel. Had to wait, and he's left the fuel filler cap open on the side of the bike. They were filling it up as he went, and it's been left open. Brilliant, it just popped open.
Chance to put that down, so that's another little inconvenience for him.
He'll be rooting around for some toys to throw out of that pram.
Yeah, SHG says KTM have to make a decision now. Yeah, Binder and Miller out in Q1. Nobody knows what we're going to see next, and I've got a feeling this could change quite a bit, and probably Pedrosa will be on alongside Acosta next year.
Very good wheel there. We know he's not shy when it comes to hooking his caravan onto the back of a
makes me smile. Jorge Martin is towing. So no outside lane for him as he dragged Marc Marquez around this racetrack. Marco Bezzecchi, where Alex Marquez went through turn 5. Alex Marquez has not gone back out on track. So went to the medical centre. We will keep an eye to see if Alex does get involved in this Q2 session. Lap times here, do you reckon we're going to get a 43 perhaps?
I think so, yeah. I think it's possible.
That looks beautiful through there from Marco Bezzecchi.
I bet it feels beautiful as well on that motorcycle. He's looked good this weekend as Bezzecchi.
Through there in particular.
Yeah, he has looked really just confident. What happened then behind? I know that was some sort of weird tank slapper. Is he trying?
No, he never has done. And even though we hear comments from Paolo Giabatti, you know what, I was walking through the paddock this morning. I was in the media centre for half an hour. And Davide Tardozzi, before I went in, was talking to Carlo Mellini and the Cassini team. And when I came out half an hour later, they were still in deep discussion, right in view of everyone in the middle of the paddock. And Davide Tardozzi has just come out with some more comments to the press that basically the ball is in Marc's court. It's up to Marc and Cassini to make a decision, and he's going to speak to Honda about it. So there we have it. either happening or Mark's playing a really good game of brinkmanship as Jorge Martin.
Martin does a 1:44.521. Marini goes second. Then we get Bezzecchi in there too. So from the sounds of it, Marc Marquez is going to go to Grenache, but it won't be announced until next weekend at the Japanese Grand Prix, when he can talk to Honda himself and probably do like a little thank you, goodbye sort of situation. So, and is that Mark down? It is. Mark's down right in the front of Pecco Bagnaia, down at turn 3, and Mark just dropping the front end. So that's the first crash this in a long time for Marc Marquez. So, I don't think it was his fault though. It's just the type of corner. Uphill towards turn 3, brakes hard, turns in, and yeah, it's just a little bit of a knockoff. It's not even a huge crash, just a little down. Mia lap time deleted due to exceeding track limits. Thank you, SHT. Didn't see that pop up on the monitors. So Bezzecchi flying in the moment. He's fast sector 1, fast sector 2, slow sector 3 by 23 thousandths of a second though. Rear of the bike sliding around towards the braking zone as he gets going again. And is Bezzecchi faster for a 1-2? Yeah, Bezzecchi a 1:44.401. 10th and a half faster. Martin second, Marini now down to third position as well. Vinales is in 4th place. Luca Marini a 1:44.566. Good time on the board, puts him third. Jorge Martin currently estimated for provisional pole position. He is 2/10 faster than Bezzecchi. Out of the last corner, can he get a 1:44.2? It's a 1:44.153. 2.5 tenths faster than Marco Bezzecchi. Wonderful time on the board there. Really finding the grip in the circuit, finding the need as Bezzecchi runs wide at turn 1.
Qualifying is it's a short drag down to turn 1. It's a tricky turn 1. We're expecting mayhem into the start of the race. And Jorge Martin's learned to get that bike off the line as well, as we saw in Misano.
Still no lap set for Alex Marquez. He hasn't left pit lane either. And Joan Mir came straight back in before actually completing a lap. His lap that he actually did complete was yellow flagged. So Joan Mir, unfortunately, hasn't registered one yet.
Right.
It's Martin, Bezzecchi, Marini, 1, 2, 3. Vinales, Quartararo, who's looked really good all weekend, and Bagnaia, your second row as things stand. Fernandez, that would be his best qualifying so far in MotoGP.
I'd love Fabio to get on the front row of the grid. He's certainly got a good pace. If he could get off the line, Fabio, I know we've said that in 4 years now, it feels like, but he has got the pace this weekend.
When I spoke to him yesterday, he was saying how, you know what, parts of this track would have been tailor-made for my Yamaha. You know, when we had the advantage of our old frame, he said the problem is he didn't want to say the Yamaha has gone backwards. What he just means the Yamaha stayed still and everyone else now has turning ability that we had.
That's what we've seen. And it's acceleration out of corners like that. That's where we'd lose out to a Ducati.
Quartararo the 44s for Fabio Quartararo, but second row as Johan Zarco also on a lap. His teammate Jorge Martin down pit lane in provisional pole, but still under 7 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a bit of a case of what we had in Q1. We've got Jorge Martin, quarter of a second faster than everybody, but I still don't think that's going to be good enough for pole. Still think someone's going to beat that.
Marc Marquez straight back out. Pecco Bagnaia heading out. He's got Joan Mir just cruising behind him, maybe trying to get in behind the world champion. Yeah, Pecco Bagnaia has seen Marc Marquez there and he's just not playing ball.
He's like, not today, mate. One thing as well where they don't have to worry, because of the ambient temperature, they won't be too worried. There's plenty of left and right corners, so at some of the tracks in Europe where we've seen where it's, let's say, there's a lot of lefts and not so many rights, you have to be mindful that the tyre can lose a bit of temperature, but not today, Gav.
Yeah. Jorge Martin leaves pit lane. I just wonder on Marc Marquez. It's one of those where Bagnaia won't want to drag him round here because he knows Marquez could be in the mix. And you don't need Marc Marquez alongside you on the grid, do you?
No.
When you're battling for a championship.
Heading into turn 1.
So Martin crash in free practice, but straight away with scuffed leathers, the man to beat here to pole position. It is cloudy overhead. There was a possibility of some rain here today. There have been sporadic thunderstorms. We had what the locals term.
Well, it's a little bit of a cheat, I know, but the Moto3 qualifying 2 is about to start live. And I can tell you, it's not only raining, it is absolutely throwing it down. So the sprint race that's coming up live at 11 o'clock British Summer Time is going to be very interesting because it is actually now raining at the track. But we're watching a delayed coverage. So there's a little bit of a cheat there, but I'm sorry. Martin looks rapid again. Martin really not letting Bagnaia get away with this championship. He's not. It is hailing now in India. So there's a lot of rain now at the circuit, a lot of rain, and qualifying's been delayed for Moto3. So, yeah, it's really bad now. And the riders said that they didn't know what the conditions like were. The conditions, it was okay in the dry, but it was a bit dangerous in the wet. So, yeah, I wonder if we get a sprint race today or not. That could be quite fun. Stay tuned. Anyway, back to the MotoGP action from the past. As we can take a look, rain in India, a weird scene. It really is. It's been raining for a couple of days, actually, on and off across it. But this is what happened in the qualifying session. This is the delayed coverage we're bringing you. And I don't know what happened, so I've got to pay attention. Bagnaia ahead of Marc Marquez. Bagnaia towing Marc around the circuit as well. Session delayed due to weather conditions. Yeah, it's red flags now over in India, so that's going to delay the sprint race as well. Bagnaia first sector, fastest. Top speed as well, coming in. A nice time. Bagnaia was a 32.398 across it. He's matched! Bagnaia's matched Martin's time! First sector by 0.000. Wow. Yeah, it's really bad rain actually now over there in India. The clouds have come in as well, so, oh dear. Riders weren't exactly happy with the track. They said it was okay in the dry, but it could be questionable in the wet, so they've never done it before, so let's see how that goes. Going straight into a race with no weather. Woohoo, the sprint race is going to be fun. 11 laps, by the way, for the MotoGP Tissot sprint later. Bagnaia, 25 thousandths down in the second sector. Marc Marquez, 2/10ths down. Mia, 36 thousandths down. But up by 69 thousandths is Jorge Martin. So already this session changing once again and finding more time, finding everything they need to just loop it together. Bagnaia sliding into the last corner at turn 14. Gently pulls the throttle. And across the line, 144.374. Bagnaia second, Marc Marquez seventh, 144.806. Mia fourth, 144.501. But Jorge Martin looking absolutely fantastic. Third sector time, down by 23 thousandths. Marco Bezzecchi is up by 2.5 tenths. And Marco Bezzecchi takes pole. 143.947. He is 2 tenths faster than Jorge Martin. Marini goes third, 144.215. That's an amazing time. Martin, 144.886. That is simply amazing. Astonishing time. Really good stuff. Oh, Bagnaia twitched into turn 5. And that's going to lose him a lot of the run, unfortunately. So Bagnaia not looking comfortable. Looks like he's going to lose out on pole position here. Remember, he's going for a championship overall as well. And so there's a lot riding for him in all of this. But the championship just keeps on changing. Bezzecchi, Martin, Marini, Bagnaia, Mia, Vinales, Aleix Espargaro, Marc Marquez, Fabio Quartararo, Johan Zarco, all the rest. Raul Fernandez. And Alex Marquez will not take part in this session. Mia goes fourth out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere. Mia, he's down now 4 tenths. The lap has gone now at the moment between these lot.
Bagnaia might also improve. He's currently heading up the second row of the grid behind 3 other Ducatis, but the factory man comes to the line now. Surely his last opportunity to improve here, and he goes through, he goes front row. Marquez goes second row, but Mir goes ahead of him. What a weekend it's proving to be for Repsol Honda.
Unreal. Yeah, no. I mean, Joan Mir is...
Oh, that was Bagnaia running it in deep. Bagnaia running it in deep. I've just had confirmation, by the way. Alex Marquez has broken 2 ribs. He's unfit for today, probably for the rest of this weekend, and maybe for Japan and beyond too. So, Alex Marquez has broken 2 ribs. That's really horrible for him. Best of luck for Alex Marquez to recover. I might have said Mark, I meant Alex Marquez. I'm tired. I've done the Formula 1. Yeah, Alex Marquez has broken 2 ribs. Alex Marquez. As here's Alicia Spargo up towards the line. Stays in 8th position. So Alex Marquez not going to race this weekend. He's broken 2 ribs. His brother, Marc Marquez, running in 6th at the moment and looking mega, mega, mega. So I think that's it. Checker flags out. And nobody else is improving on the sector times at the moment. Bezecchi's 15 thousandths of a second down on his own best time. I don't think we're going to see much difference at the moment. Update on the live weather in India. There is now ripples of water running down the pit lane as well. So it's not looking great out there. And they're still on Moto 3 Q2. They've got to do Moto 2 before they get to the Tissot Sprint, just to let you know. So there's a delay going on. No one else is improving on their sector lap times either, as you can see on the control board. So it looks like we've had enough of it for now, as for some reason it still says Q1 on the board. We did change that to Q2. Sorry about that, everybody. My fault. It was Q2 anyway, but you've been watching, so you know. Looks like the system had a glitch as well. But that's it. It's pole position for Marco Bezzecchi. He'll take the checkered flag to make it official. Marco Bezzecchi has pole position for the Indian Grand Prix. Jorge Martin is 2nd, Bagnaia 3rd, Marini is 4th, Mia 5th, 6th for Marc Marquez, 7th Maverick Vinales, 8th Aleix Espargaro, 9th Fabio Quartararo, 10th Johan Zarco, 11th Raul Fernandez, and 12th for Alex Marquez. Quartararo stays 7th. Does Zarco improve up the board? Yes! Zarco 7th. That's it. Bezzecchi on pole then for the Indian Grand Prix for Martin, Bagnaia, Marini, Mia, Marquez, Zarco, Quartararo, Vinales, Aleix Espargaro, Raul Fernandez and Alex Marquez. 3 championship, as SHG says, 3 championship contenders on the front row of the grid in reverse order. 3, 2, 1 is 1, 2, 3. Well, the rain in India is getting severely worse. Join us for live coverage of the Tissot Sprint at 10:50 British summer time in around about an hour and a half's time. Join us for that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Join us for that later. Marco Bezzecchi, though, pole position. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.